Picture this. You're standing in the produce aisle, like the fluorescent lights are humming overhead, and you're staring down at two, well, seemingly identical apples.
Right, the classic grocery store dilemma.
Exactly. They are the exact same shade of red. They're the exact same size. They even have that, identical little waxy shine under the sprinklers.
Yeah.
But one of them has a little green sticker that says organic, and the other one doesn't. And that organic apple, it is noticeably, sometimes painfully, more expensive.
Oh, painfully, yes.
You're standing there doing the mental math, maybe feeling a little judged by the shopper next to you, and you're wondering, is this sticker actually a promise of a biologically superior apple, or am I just funding a really effective marketing campaign?
It is, it's the universal consumer dilemma right there.
Yeah.
You are holding two physical objects that look completely identical, yet one demands a premium.
Right.
And the implication, often driven by some very clever packaging, is that the cheaper one is somehow to compromise on your health or, your morals, or maybe both.
Okay, let's unpack this, because I want to be really clear with you listening. This deep dive is absolutely not about judging what is in your grocery cart.
Not at all.
We are not here to make you feel bad about your weekly food budget. We just want to get to the bottom of the facts, like what actually separates these two apples on a cellular level.
Yeah, that's the big question.
If I bite into the conventional one, am I eating a fundamentally different piece of fruit?
So, to really understand the difference between those two apples, you kind of have to temporarily forget about the fruit entirely.
Wait, forget about the apple.
Yeah, forget the apple. Because the great divide between organic and conventional food isn't actually about the final product sitting on the shelves. It is about the fundamental philosophy of how that product was coaxed out of the earth, basically.
Okay.
The distinction lies entirely in the methodology, the environmental approach, and the really strict rule books farmers have to follow long before that apple ever sees the inside of a grocery store.
So before we can talk about what goes into the human body, we have to talk about what goes into the dirt.
Exactly.
I think, well, when I hear the word organic, my mind automatically conjures up this sort of romanticized 19th century image.
Oh, totally. We all do.
Right. Like I picture a guy in denim overalls with a hoe, maybe some chickens running around in the background, just letting nature do its thing without any human interference. Am I totally romanticizing this?
You are definitely romanticizing it, though. I mean,
What?
the marketing department certainly wants you to picture the guy in the overalls.
Yeah, it sells well.
It does. But in reality, organic farming is an incredibly complex, highly regulated agricultural system. At its core, the organic philosophy is about engineering a farm to mimic and work alongside natural ecosystems.
Okay, so mimicking nature.
Right. It's a system that leans entirely into biological processes rather than synthetic interventions to solve farming problems.
Okay, but what does that actually look like in practice? Because, farming is hard.
Right.
Bugs want to eat the crops. Weeds want to choke them out. If an organic farmer isn't allowed to use a modern synthetic weed killer or bug spray, how are they keeping the farm alive?
They have to rely on preventative biological mechanics. So let's take pests, for example. Instead of spraying a synthetic chemical to kill a specific insect, an organic farmer will heavily utilize crop rotation.
I've heard that term, but how does, simply moving plants around stop a bug infestation?
Well, think about it like literally starving the pests by changing the menu.
Changing the menu.
Yeah. If you plant corn in the exact same field year after year, the corn rootworms in the soil wake up every spring to an absolute buffet.
Oh, right, because their favorite food is right there.
Exactly, and their population explodes. But if the farmer plants soybeans in that field the next year, those corn rootworms wake up, find out their food source is gone, and they die off.
Wow.
You are breaking the biological life cycle of the pest just by altering the environment.
That makes total sense. You are basically outsmarting the bug instead of just poisoning it.
Precisely. They also manage beneficial insects. It sounds a bit like warfare, but farmers will intentionally introduce or cultivate populations of predatory insects, like ladybugs, for example.
Oh, really? Just the tactical strike of ladybugs.
Basically, yeah. Their sole job is to hunt and eat the aphids that are trying to destroy the crops. And for soil health, since they can't use synthetic nitrogen fertilizers, they rely on massive, complex composting systems.
To put the nutrients back.
Right, and planting cover crops to naturally pull nitrogen from the air and push it back into the dirt.
It sounds incredibly hands-on and just, labor-intensive.
It is. extremely.
And I know these rules apply to livestock too. Like, animals have to be fed organic feed, they need access to the outdoors, absolutely no synthetic growth hormones. It's a massive chain of natural management.
That's a great way to put it.
So that is the organic rule book. Let's flip the coin and look at conventional farming. If organic is this intricate biological puzzle, conventional farming feels like, I don't know, the heavy machinery of the food world.
That is exactly what it is. Conventional farming is the modern engine of global food production. If organic leans on natural inputs, conventional agriculture utilizes cutting-edge synthetic technologies to maximize efficiency, scale, and yield.
So it's about volume.
Yes, it is designed to get the absolute maximum amount of food out of every single acre of land.
It makes me think of two completely different approaches to manufacturing. Like conventional farming is like a highly optimized, high-tech assembly line.
Okay, yeah.
You've got GPS-guided tractors, precisely formulated synthetic fertilizers that deliver exact nutrients to the soil, and targeted synthetic pesticides to guarantee the crop actually survives.
Exactly.
It is engineered to produce a massive volume of food reliably and to make that food affordable for millions of people across North America, whereas organic farming is more like an artisanal ecological workshop.
I like that.
It's beautifully crafted, but it simply cannot match the sheer output volume of the assembly line.
What's fascinating here is that we often view that assembly line of conventional farming with a lot of suspicion.
Oh, for sure, people are terrified of it.
Right. There is this pervasive myth that conventional farming is a lawless wasteland where farmers are just indiscriminately dumping toxic sludge onto the soil.
Yeah, that's exactly the mental image a lot of people have.
But the data shows a completely different reality. The tools used in conventional agriculture are strictly regulated, highly researched, and constantly monitored by food safety authorities in both the US and Canada.
Okay, but I have to push back here on behalf of the listener. Because when you hear terms like synthetic chemical pesticides, the immediate assumption is danger.
Sure, the words themselves sound scary.
Synthetic sounds like something made in a beaker by a mad scientist, and chemical just sounds like poison. Doesn't the use of those synthetic tools automatically make conventional food inherently more dangerous than organic food?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, we really have to shatter the biggest myth in the entire food debate. Are you ready for it?
Lay it on me.
Organic farming is not pesticide-free.
Wait, really? Because I feel like the entire appeal of the organic sticker for most people is the idea that the food hasn't been sprayed with anything at all.
It is a brilliant piece of assumed marketing, but it is scientifically inaccurate. Organic farmers absolutely use pesticides, and they use a lot of them.
Oh, wow. I had no idea.
The rule is simply that they must use approved natural pesticides derived from natural sources rather than synthetic ones created in a lab. And this brings up a crucial misunderstanding in how we view risk, really.
The idea that natural means safe.
Yes, the assumption that natural inherently equals safe and synthetic inherently equals dangerous.
I mean, nature produces some of the most toxic substances on the planet, like snake venom is natural, botulism is natural.
Exactly. The origin of a chemical doesn't determine its safety, its biological interaction, and its dosage do. Let me give you a very concrete example.
Please do.
So, one of the most common natural pesticides used heavily in organic farming is copper sulfate. It is used to fight off fungus. Because it is a naturally occurring earth mineral, it is perfectly legal under organic rules. However, copper sulfate is a heavy metal.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it doesn't break down easily. If it is overused, it can actually accumulate in the soil and become highly toxic to earthworms and the long-term health of the dirt.
Wow. So an organic natural pesticide can actually linger in the environment longer than a synthetic one.
In some cases, yes, absolutely. Many modern synthetic pesticides used in conventional farming are meticulously engineered in labs, specifically to break down rapidly when exposed to sunlight and water.
So they do their job and get out.
Right, they do their job and then they degrade. Now, this doesn't mean natural pesticides are bad and synthetics are good. It just means that the key factor for human health is not whether a chemical was extracted from a plant or made in a beaker.
So what is the key factor?
The key factor is dosage and strict regulatory limits. Food safety authorities set incredibly strict limits on the maximum allowable residue for all pesticides, natural or synthetic, to ensure the food is safe to eat long before it reaches your kitchen.
Okay, that completely changes the paradigm. If both systems use pesticides just from different sources, what about genetics?
Genetics.
Because organic farming strictly prohibits genetically modified organisms, or GMOs. You will not find a genetically engineered seed in an organic field, but conventional farming uses them heavily. Why?
Well, conventional farming embraces genetic engineering as a tool to solve the exact same problems organic farmers solve with labor.
How so?
Instead of manually trying to fight off a specific caterpillar, scientists can tweak the genetics of a corn plant so that it naturally produces a protein that is totally harmless to humans, but makes the corn completely unappetizing to that one specific caterpillar.
Oh, so the plant has built-in bug repellent,
Exactly.
which means the conventional farmer doesn't even have to drive the tractor out to spray pesticide for that bug, saving fuel and chemicals.
You nailed it.
Aw.
Or they engineer crops to be highly resistant to drought, ensuring the food supply survives a really harsh summer.
Hmm.
It's about building efficiency directly into the seed itself.
Right.
And that efficiency is the entire reason behind the massive price gap we started this conversation with.
Let's follow that logic. Because organic farmers don't use genetically engineered seeds with built-in defenses, and they don't use highly targeted synthetic weed killers, they have to manage all of those threats manually.
Yes, by hand.
They are out there pulling weeds, running tillers, laying down mulch. That requires vastly more human labor.
And labor is expensive. Furthermore, because organic methods are less aggressive against pests and weeds, organic farms generally have significantly lower crop yields.
So they get less apples per tree.
Basically, yeah. They
What?
simply produce less food per acre than conventional farms. When you combine higher labor costs with a smaller harvest, the cost of production skyrockets.
Wow.
That premium price you pay at the register for the organic apple is not some tax for better health. It's the literal cost of the extra labor and lower efficiency required to farm under those specific ecological rules.
This sets up the ultimate contradiction for me. If the organic apple is double the price purely because it is harder to grow, and my body is still potentially being exposed to natural pesticides anyway, is the organic apple actually doing anything superior for my human body?
That is the million-dollar question.
Because people are paying a massive premium because they firmly believe they are buying a significantly more nutritious piece of fruit.
Well, prepare to be surprised again. When you look at the macro-level nutritional data, the scientific consensus is incredibly clear. The nutritional differences between organic and conventional foods are practically negligible.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because you're telling me that structurally, nutritionally, a conventional apple is fundamentally just as healthy for my body as the artisan, organically grown apple.
Yes, that is exactly what the data shows.
How is that physically possible? Shouldn't the organically pampered soil produce a better vitamin profile?
It comes down to how plant biology actually works. Plants absorb nutrients from the soil in their most basic elemental chemical forms. The plant's root system needs nitrogen to grow. That root system has absolutely no idea if the nitrogen molecule it just absorbed came from a pile of lovingly aged organic cow manure or if it came from a highly calibrated synthetic fertilizer factory.
It's like putting gas in your car.
Yes.
The car's engine just burns the combustible fuel. It doesn't care if you bought the gasoline from a fancy boutique gas station or the discount pump down the street. The fuel is just the fuel.
That is a perfect analogy. The elemental building blocks of the food are exactly the same. Now, to be incredibly precise, studies do occasionally show that organic produce might boast slightly higher levels of certain secondary metabolites, like antioxidants.
Oh, really? Why would that be?
Think of antioxidants as a plant's natural defense mechanism. Because organic plants aren't protected by synthetic pesticides, they have to fight off more bugs and environmental stress on their own.
Like getting toughened up.
Exactly. That stress causes the plant to produce slightly more antioxidants to defend itself.
So the organic apple had a slightly harder life, got stressed out, and produced more antioxidants.
Exactly right. But, and this is the critical part, while that is biologically interesting, that slight bump in antioxidants doesn't translate into a massive, measurable leap in human health outcomes.
It's a tiny difference, basically.
Very tiny. When you look at the big picture, the essential vitamins, the minerals, the crucial dietary fiber, both the organic and the conventional apples are completely packed with them.
Right.
If you eat a conventional bag of spinach, you are getting the full, incredible iron and fiber benefits of spinach. Your body is not being shortchanged at all.
This raises an important question. What does healthy eating actually mean then? Because it feels like society has become so, I don't know, hyper-focused on the purity of the label that we've completely lost sight of the fundamentals.
We really have.
If my body doesn't actually care if the nitrogen came from manure or a factory, why am I stressing out in the produce aisle?
That is the danger of nutrition marketing.
Really?
We let perfect become the enemy of good. The human body benefits most from a consistent diet rich in whole, nutrient-dense foods.
Yeah.
Your heart, your brain, your gut microbiome, they need the vitamins and the fiber from that apple, regardless of the methodology used to grow it.
Right, the body just wants the nutrients.
Exactly. The most important factor for your personal health is not whether you buy the organic sticker. It is that you are consistently consuming a wide variety of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains in the first place.
Okay, so personal health and nutrition is basically a tie. But maybe we are looking at this too selfishly.
What do you mean?
Well, if my body can't really tell the difference, perhaps the real reason people are willingly paying double for organic isn't about personal health at all. Maybe it is a financial vote for planetary health. Does organic farming have a clearly superior environmental impact?
This is exactly where the debate shifts for most informed consumers. They are choosing organic as an ecological investment, and organic farming absolutely offers incredible environmental benefits. Because it avoids synthetic chemical runoff, it often does a fantastic job of supporting local biodiversity. You see more insect life, more bird species near organic farms, and the intense focus on composting builds incredible spongy soil health over time.
So it's great for the immediate area,
Yes, it is designed to be very gentle on the immediate local ecosystem.
which is an amazing goal. But if I'm looking at the big picture, the conventional agriculture sector can't just be ignoring the environment, right? I mean, they rely on the earth to make a living.
Not at all, and this is where the environmental math gets highly complicated. Conventional agriculture is adopting massive innovations in sustainability, specifically driven by technology.
Oh, like the GTS stuff you mentioned earlier.
Exactly. They use precision irrigation systems that conserve millions of gallons of water. They use GPS mapping to microdose fertilizers, drastically reducing the runoff we used to see decades ago.
And there is the land use argument, right? If conventional farming is the high-yield assembly line, it requires significantly less physical land to produce the exact same amount of food.
That is the crux of the global environmental debate right there. If the entire world suddenly switched to 100% organic farming tomorrow, yields would drop dramatically.
Because it's less efficient.
Right. And to feed the same global population, we would have to clear-cut massive amounts of forests and wild habitats just to create more farmland.
Oh, wow. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, so organic is incredibly gentle on the local acre, but conventional is vastly more efficient globally, saving wild lands from the plow. The healthiest, most sustainable food system going forward is almost certainly one that combines the ecological mindfulness of organic farming with the incredible technological efficiency and land-saving yields of conventional farming.
Which means we don't have to view these two systems as mortal enemies, they're just different toolkits.
Perfectly said.
But I want to bring this back to you, the listener, because when you are standing in that produce aisle trying to make the green choice, it feels like tossing the expensive organic apple into your cart is the only way to cast a vote for the environment.
I know the feeling.
What if your budget just doesn't allow for a $100 grocery run that only yields 2 bags of food?
What stands out to you when you evaluate your own environmental footprint? Because buying organic is absolutely one way to support agricultural sustainability if your wallet allows for it comfortably.
Right.
But it is definitely not the only way, and frankly, it might not even be the most impactful way.
Oh, really? What are the alternatives?
The data strongly suggests that reducing your personal food waste is a massive immediate step. Throwing away conventional produce that went bad in the back of your fridge has a terrible carbon footprint.
We're all guilty of the science experiment in the CRISPR drawer.
Exactly. Also, buying local produce, whether organic or conventional, drastically reduces the transportation emissions of trucking food across the country.
That makes sense.
And choosing foods that are naturally in season in your region is another huge step. All of these are incredibly powerful daily ways to support a sustainable food system, and none of them require paying the organic price premium.
I absolutely love that. It democratizes being environmentally friendly. You don't have to be wealthy to be green in the kitchen.
Definitely not.
So what does this all mean for tomorrow's grocery run? Let's bring all this soil science, the pesticide toxicology, the environmental data, let's bring it all straight back into your kitchen.
It means we need to reframe how we view the food supply. The primary difference between organic and conventional food lies purely in the philosophy of how the food is produced, the labor required, and the tools utilized on the farm.
Not the nutrition.
Right. It does not lie in how nutritious that food is for your body. Both systems are highly regulated, and both are completely capable of producing incredibly safe, nutrient-dense food.
And for your day-to-day life, it means letting go of the guilt. Healthy eating is not about buying the most expensive, prestigious labels. It is about building solid, unglamorous, highly effective habits. If you can afford organic and you specifically want to support those local ecological practices, that is a fantastic choice. But if you can't, filling your cart with conventional fruits, vegetables, legumes, and whole grains is a massive win for your health.
It is about action and consistency.
Mm.
Are you actually eating the vegetables you buy? Are you taking the time to cook at home, relying less on highly processed convenience foods? Are you sitting down for meals instead of eating out of a wrapper in your car?
Those are the real game changers.
They are. When it comes to long-term vitality, the consistency of eating whole foods matters infinitely more than the sticker on the peel.
A conventional apple is a fantastic, healthy apple. You are doing your body a massive favor just by putting it in your cart.
Without a doubt.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a final, slightly provocative thought to ponder the next time you are navigating that grocery store aisle. Think back to those two identical apples we started with.
The ones under the fluorescent lights.
Exactly. We now know their nutritional value is nearly identical, but the price difference is massive. If the nutritional difference between them is basically a statistical tie, how might our societal obsession with the prestigious organic label actually be distracting us from bigger, more meaningful health interventions?
That's a great point.
Imagine if you took all the money you saved by confidently buying the perfectly healthy conventional produce. What other positive, high-impact lifestyle habits could you be funding with that exact same budget?
You could do a lot.
Right. Maybe a gym membership, higher quality proteins, or just removing the daily financial stress of feeding your family. It's something to think about the next time you're standing under those fluorescent lights staring down the produce bins.